Welcome to the Cyber Business Podcast, where we feature top founders and entrepreneurs and share their inspiring stories. Now, let's get started with the show.
Matthew Connor here, host of the Cyber Business Podcast, where we feature successful business leaders, top law firms, green energy companies, and more. Today, we are joined by the Director of Partner Acquisition at Evo, Nick Wolf. Nick, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
A pleasure. Before we get too far in, a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by cyberlinks.com. That's cyberlynx.com. Cyberlinks is a complete technology solution provider that ensures your business not only has the most reliable and professional IT service, but also the right cybersecurity solutions to ensure your business stays productive and safe. And now back to our show. Nick, it's such a pleasure to have you on. Now, you were like one of the first guys at Datto, and now you're at Evo. Can you tell the fine people all about that? How you go from one of the first guys at Datto to now being at Evo?
Yeah, sure thing. So Datto was such a great journey. I was one of the first guys over there back in I think I started there around 2011, 2012. I actually knew the founder through high school, so I started there as their very first sales intern. Really doing anything that the sales department needed me to do, whether it was adding business cards or leads into the systems. As my career progressed, I got to work with Rob Ray a whole bunch, creating competitive intelligence battle cards, setting up sales appointments for the sales teams. And then ultimately, my last 5 to 6 years, I was a channel account manager, actually closing new business for Team Datto. Had the pleasure of bringing on over 750 MSPs during my time there on the phone. And it was a really great and inspiring journey. Got to learn a lot about the managed service provider industry. And, during my time there, I knew that even post Datto, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be working with managed service providers for the rest of my career. And, it's been a ride ever since. So after my time at Datto, I went to another technology startup called Scout Cybersecurity. They were an XDR SOC vendor. Similar story there. Got to work with a lot of alumni from Datto that I was very closely tied with. We built and sold that company in around 2.5 years. They were acquired by Barracuda Networks. Afterwards, I did some consulting from other companies, and I eventually landed here at Evo Security because I really, really liked the product and the vision and what they were looking to accomplish in the MSP space. And it's a very similar story to when I started at Datto. We're young, we're small, you probably haven't heard of us, but in the next few months, that's probably going to change.
I love it. Well, let's go into that then. Why will we hear so much about Evo? What's the deal there?
Yeah, sure thing. So with Evo Security, what we're doing is identity and access management specifically for managed service providers. So it's really ultimately broken down into our 2 products. Our first product, Evo Elevated Access, is privileged access management built for MSPs. So essentially, you and your technicians don't need to copy and paste and share admin credentials anymore when they're logging in. We're making it much more secure and safer for an MSP to log into their clients' devices, as well as qualify for cybersecurity insurance. The second part of our platform is a product called Evo Secure Login, which is our multi-factor authentication and single sign-on product that MSPs buy to resell to their end user customers that are looking for an alternative to enterprise solutions like Duo and Okta and things of that nature. What's really making us different, though, here is that everything we're building and designing here at Evo is with the MSP in mind, because, again, we are 100% channel-only building identity and access management for our MSP partners. So you're going to see us a lot more at events. You probably saw in the last few months, we've announced some strategic partnerships as well. So we're sold through the ConnectWise ecosystem. Their security team is selling us. The ASCII vendor of the year in 2021 and 2022 called Solutions Granted. They're partnered with us selling our platform. So you're going to start seeing us in more and more places. We started this year with around 30 MSPs that are utilizing us today, and we're about 150 MSPs that are utilizing us right now, 8 months later. So we're growing fast. We're hoping to be at around 300 MSPs by the end of the year, and this is just the beginning.
That's great. So let's go into what makes Evo different than, say, something like Duo.
Yeah, sure thing. So Duo as a product is a good company. Don't get me wrong; they're worth several $billions. They're owned by Cisco. We've heard some complaints about a few of our MSPs of ever since the acquisition by Cisco. Some of those end user deals that the MSP originally sold are now being targeted by the Cisco reps, and they're trying to get renewed as a direct business, which is definitely not channel friendly. One of our benefits here is that, again, we're 100% channel only, dedicated for the growth and development of our managed service provider partners. So that would be one key differentiator there for sure, is that we're built with the MSP in mind. Whereas typically those other vendors like Okta and Duo, they have a good product, but it's really designed and built for the enterprise space with enterprise price points. And then they might have a small amount of customers that do it through MSPs. But again, we're priced towards MSPs, built for MSPs and their SMB customers. That's our bread and butter.
So would you say Evo is Duo for MSP only? Is that
I would say that's a great way to describe us for sure.
so? So let's go into that. Tell us more about Evo. What kind of the features, the offerings. Why outside of being a Duo replacement, for an MSP, what are some of the advantages and features that that this brings to an MSP?
Yeah, so really, because we're offering full identity and access management, a lot of MSPs are able to kill two birds with one stone with us. What we're seeing is that a lot of MSPs today, they might be using one vendor for multi-factor authentication and single sign-on, like your Oktas and your Duos, and they might be using another vendor for their privileged access management and secure logins. Like, there's a couple that are rising up in the channel. And what makes us different is that we're really merging them both together into one single pane of glass, one product line. So again, with us, we could give you your privileged access management, we could give you multi-factor authentication, we could give you single sign-on, which is ultimately going to give vendor consolidation to managed service providers that utilize us. So instead of having to partner with 2 or 3 different vendors for this identity need, you could partner with us over here at Evo, and you're good to go.
Fantastic. I love that. And now you said you're available in more places, like the ConnectWise marketplace, right? Are you guys looking to expand out into things like PAX 8 and stuff like that? Or is it better for people, for an MSP to contact Evo directly and join the channel there?
So right now, if you're a happy ConnectWise partner and you like buying your products through ConnectWise, reach out to your ConnectWise rep and buy Evo through them. If you're a Solutions Granted partner for your SOC and SIM needs and you like buying through them, buy through Solutions Granted. And then if you're not utilizing any 2 of those resources, but you still want Evo Security, yeah, feel free to contact us directly. We're more than happy to sign you up. Those are our 2 avenues that we have right now with Solutions Granted and ConnectWise. More might be in the future, but it's not going to be today or tomorrow.
Love it. Okay. So what would you say to an MSP that that is, let's say, on the fence? They've been using Duo, they're using Auto Elevate. What do you say to them? Why Evo?
Alrighty. Well, first I would say thank you. Thank you for at least having something in place for privileged access management as well as multi-factor authentication. I would much rather you use my competition than not use a solution at all, period. Because you need privileged access management to secure yourselves. You don't want your techs walking out the doors with the keys to the kingdom if they leave your MSP. And usually with privileged access management, at least such as with Evo, that's going to prevent that. And the same thing with multi-factor authentication. That blocks 99.99% of identity breaches is just simply by having MFA enabled, whether it's with Duo or Evo or someone else. So if you're utilizing one of our competitors, thank you, because that means you've at least taken steps to secure your clients, which is awesome. Now, that being said, I would love to take your money, right? And with us, it goes back to what I said earlier. It's about vendor consolidation. Instead of having to pay Duo and Auto Elevate, you can consolidate that 2 tools, make it better for your existing technicians as well as your future technicians that you're going to hire to learn our platform, one platform, as opposed to learning 2 different vendors' dashboards and interface and how do I install this, how do I install that.
Well, and ultimately, I think it's also you've got a better price point than you would if you're using Duo and Auto Elevate. You're paying
Yeah, we're
At
roughly
least
half the cost.
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're roughly half the cost of Duo. So with our multi-factor authentication product, it's charged per user, and then with our privileged access management solution, which is a little bit different than the competition, we're charged per technician. So it's an unlimited device pricing model. It doesn't matter if your techs are connecting to one device or 1,000 devices. It doesn't matter to us. It's just the flat rate cost of per technician.
Love that. Um, yeah, no, that's fantastic. So, uh, in terms of the MSP who's looking to jump over, the advantages are it's all consolidated, better price point. I mean, what more do you need, right?
Yeah, and it's again, everything we're doing here is channel only and channel friendly, right? That's why we're month to month, right? So you're not locking into a 3 year auto renewing contract like some other vendors do, which I won't name. It's no minimums. So again, if you want to start off with just one license of our privileged access management solution, that's totally fine. So yeah, we want to make it as easy as possible for MSPs to do business with us over here at Evo. It doesn't matter to us if you're a one-man shop or if you're an MSP that has 100+ technicians, we're willing to work with you.
I think that's a great point because a lot of MSPs have had unhappy experiences with vendors who want a 3-year license. Then the product turns out to be not quite what they promised. Salespeople were great, the demo was great, and then everything turns to to crud. And then they're stuck with a 3-year contract and they're not letting them out. So I think having a provider that says, "Hey, it's month to month. You're going to be happy here. Try us out. It'll be great." I think that's really important. So kudos to you
Exactly.
for
No,
doing that.
no onboarding fees either. So like we let our products speak for ourselves. Yeah. Again, that's one of the reasons why we've had, around 150, 120 new MSPs sign up and come on board and pay us in the last 8 months here, with more to come. Granted, yeah, of course, all business is going to have a little bit of churn there, but the majority of MSPs, we're doing the right thing. They're liking with us. They're growing their business with us.
That's great. I think I think that's the right thing, especially from an MSP's perspective. I can't tell you how many times we've just been turned off by a product because you've got these huge onboarding fees, like really huge onboarding fees, long-term commitments, and we don't even know if our clients are going to, appreciate it. We don't know if the product's going to be good. I did. Oh, I know what it was. I was trying out a YubiKey to do multi-factor authentication on a Mac, and I was like, "This is a great idea. We could do, have these great keys, put them out to our clients who, and have them using that for login, nice and secure, fantastic." Um, it worked out really well for about a month or two, and then all of a sudden, it went to complete dog turd, and I was if we had rolled this out after a month of me being like, "This is awesome, I love it." Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine the nightmare that I'd have rolling this back, going back with egg on my face to clients and saying, "Oh, hey, this isn't as good as we thought it was." That doesn't look good.
Hmm.
So with Evo, to be able to get in there, try it out, try it for as long as you want, just internally, what have you, make sure you're comfortable. I think we're now going to implement a 3 to 6 month use policy on all of our products before we roll it out to a client because that really that was an eye opener for me.
Yep. It's funny. The other day, I had a potential prospect of Evo. Before he called the sales line, he shot an email to support, and the title was like, "This is a test." And then support responded back in 8 minutes. "A test of what? How can we help?" And he's like, "You got back to me in 8 minutes. This is exactly what I was looking for."
Nice. Well, that's another good point. Having the right support is really important. You go to some of these vendors, and it's just not there. They're going to they want it to go to an MSP so that they don't have to support it. They want you to support the product to the client. But all too often, you need support with the product because it's not doing what it's supposed to, or it doesn't appear to be anyway. So
Yep. And
very nice.
everything that you're going to see here at Evo, it's US based support. So here in the United States. Um, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
it's all
fantastic.
it's all our technology too. So nothing that you would get from Evo is white labeled or some other vendor that we're reselling under the hood. It's all our own intellectual property, which means that if it sucks, it's on us, right? We get to fix it. We get to patch it. There's no finger pointing or anything like that. But we have a really awesome development team and a really awesome QA team that when a new feature gets launched, it's pretty much bug free at this point.
I love it. Okay. So, hey, where can people find out more about Evo? Yeah. Where can people find out more?
Yeah. It's evosecurity.com. Reach out to us there. We have some videos on there. We have some content on there. You can book a demo with me and my team, and we're more than happy to go over it with you. And again, there's no tricks or gimmicks here. The entire presentation is about 15, 20 minutes long, and that's soup to nuts between the product, the pricing, and the partnership.
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like to tell people before we sign off?
Nope. Thank you so much, Matthew, for having me on here, and best of luck on your podcast and your business.
Thanks, and same to you. All right, thanks, Nick.
Thanks for listening to the Cyber Business Podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.